Ranking all 29 players to play for Brentford this season from worst to best. Let's get into it. We'll start off by rattling through the youngsters who've only got a handful of minutes. Starting off at 29 with Luca Bent, who's only played 1 minute this season off the bench against Macclesfield in the Cup. Then at 28, we've got Miles Peart-Harris, who got 1 minute versus Everton in the Premier League before being sold in January. The young Turk Yunus Emre Konak has managed 2 appearances this season off the bench. But just ahead of him, I would have Gustavo Nunes, who has also only had 2 appearances off the bench, but I think looks a little bit brighter. 25 is then Kai Foro, also only played twice. And at 24, we've got Benjamin Arthur, who's played 3 games, starting 2 of them. Then now we're into the proper first teamers, really. At 23, it's got to be Anthony Malamba, who's only played 3 games. He cost them nearly 20 million. Obviously, he's really badly suffered with injuries. But even before that, he wasn't getting played anyway. 22nd is then Frank Onyeka, who played 9 times before obviously joining Coventry in January and having a really good loan spell there. Then just missing out on the top 20 at 21st, it's one of Brentford's brightest young players at the moment, Ramel Donovan. Into the top 20 now, and we start off with one of the best unks in the Premier League, Ethan Pinnock. He's only played 8 games this season. He's been fit for the vast majority of the season as well. He just needs to leave at this point. And ahead of him, I think, is probably a fair placement for Hakon Voldemarsson. He's a decent backup goalkeeper, but not played a lot. 18 is then Reece Nelson. It's been another pretty pointless loan spell for him. And 17 is this man, Fabio Carvalho. They spent a lot of money on in the summer. He's only played 9 times. In fairness, he's got 4 goals and assists, which isn't bad at all, but obviously nowhere near the output you want. 16 is another injury-prone player in Aaron Hickey, but I do actually quite rate Hickey. And 15 is probably the first season we've seen a bit of regression from Vitaly Anel. Obviously still a really good professional, but not quite been at the same levels as he's been in previous seasons. 14 is then Rico Henry. Great to see him back on the pitch and playing football. He's a class left-back. And 13, I then go with Christopher Ayer, Mr. Consistent. I then think 12th is a fair placement for Charmaine Kelleher. I think he's been okay, but he's not one of the better goalkeepers in the Premier League. He's done a decent job. And then the final player to just miss out on the top 10, and he's very unlucky to not make the top 10, is this man, Mikkel Damsgaard. But Brentford have had a lot of good players this season. Such as someone that I don't want to admit, but Jordan Henderson coming in at number 10. He's been a great bit of business for Brentford, adding that experience into the side. He's played really, really well. A lot better than I thought he would. 9 is then Yarmul Yuk, one of the most underrated players in the league. And 8 is Kevin Schade. He's in double figures for goal involvements this season. 7 is then Keane Lewis Potter. What a season he's having out of nowhere. 6, we've got to give the flowers to Matthias Jensen. He's been doing it for years now. He's such a consistent player alongside someone like a Vitaly Anel. But this season, he has gone up another level. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. And Brentford should do anything they can to keep hold of him. Into the top 5 now, and at number 5, it's a player who's massively grown into the season. When he first joined, he looked like a waste of money, but Dango Iwatara has grown into a really important player in the latter half of the season. Then 4 is another very, very underrated player. There's a bit of a theme here in terms of the Brentford squad, and that's Sepp van der Berg. I think he's been really good. 3rd for me is then his centre-half partner, Nathan Collins. You don't need me to explain how good he is. However, I do think the top 2 has to be this top 2, and probably in this order as well. Michael Coyote in 2nd, and Igor Thiago just has to be number 1. There's no debating it. But let me know what you think in the comments, Brentford fans. What have I got right and wrong here?